It's space race time. Not only will there be a battle royale on Earth, but on all these planets, or should I say moons, because we got a couple moons here as well. As you can see, we have been terraforming some of the more livable places in our solar system. Keyword more livable place. There's not a whole lot of livable places in the solar system, but basically after every couple of decades, we're going to take a look at the world map, see who's winning, and then slowly start to plant colonies on each one of these. And there's going to be mini battle royales that take place everywhere. So starting off in year 1 after 25 years, so that would be like in our universe 2050, we're going to start putting a bunch of places on the moon. Now there's going to be less and less nations that will survive until we make it into some of these, like, you know, some of these moons that are like nearby the gas giants. There's probably only going to be like 2 nations that make it to the moon Titan. There's not even that much surface for them to land on anyways, so you know what, you don't even want to be here. This is definitely not going to be like any other world we've seen in the World War Simulator. More than likely, these are the 8 nations that will be making it to the moon, but you still have to survive and be around at least in the top, like, you know, 8 nations in terms of land area. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Alright, instantly Ukraine just got puppeted, so Russia is probably definitely making it to at least the moon, which makes sense. The Russians have had a very good space program. They're probably making it to Mars, and they're all too favorite Venus. They loved Venus, at least the Soviets loved Venus. They'll probably make it to Venus, but we'll see. Let's not jinx them. I'd imagine the Brazilians are definitely going to make it to space too here soon enough. You'd be surprised at how many great powers do collapse. I could see the US, like if Canada and Mexico team up, which there's no alliances yet, I could definitely see them crunch down on the Americans. The biggest question though, can Poland into space? Speaking of Poland though, we've got a jumbo Greenland plushie for sale over at makeship.com, along with a Panama and a Canada. Any one of these nations can technically win this simulation today. Well, Panama's not super big. I wouldn't put my money on Panama, but definitely possibly Greenland, and you know, Canada always does good in the World War Simulator. Yeah, head over to makeship.com if you want these before they're gone forever. Man, it's looking awfully cold in that background. Panama is absolutely suffering. So we're already into year 6. I don't think we're going to see much change in terms of the world powers in this game. At least not yet. I mean, it's still, well, Thailand just took over Cambodia. Like, not enough really happens in the first 25 years. Definitely the game begins to exponentially increase in terms of speed, like unions and things like that, complete annexations as we get, you know, 100 years into the first 100 years into this world war. I guess this is a world war. This is more like several mini wars. Obviously, there are no nations that have made it to these planets or moons just yet. I will have to place them manually. Whole lot of people. Spain sees Las Palmas. When was Las Palmas included? The Canary Islands. Wait, is this world map? This is, I think we started with like 204 nations. We do have the micro, I mean, it's possible that the micronations win, but it's very unlikely. I don't know. Remember, you don't need to necessarily, one thing I like about this situation, this scenario, is that because we're on a globe, like, you don't have to be, I don't know, like sometimes I've seen mods like this include like a route out this way and you need to have access to the North Pole to make it to some of the planets. Nah, that's not the case here. You can be San Marino and make it to space, but you need to get a lot more pixels than you already have. India has a pretty good space program, although they are being eaten up quite a bit by Bangladesh. Now, if you lose a war before that year 25 comes ticking on in, and you lose it badly enough, yeah, India might be getting knocked out of the top 8. Oh, they're definitely getting knocked out. Is this the Myanmar and Bangladesh just killing India right now? All right, well, they're literally about to land in New Delhi. India looks like Pakistan at this point, which I think is the most offensive thing you could possibly say. Oh my gosh, is Bangladesh gonna? Myanmar looks absolutely giant. Myanmar might be making it to the moon very soon. Whoa, massive Angola, who just completely annexed the DRC overnight. And here we are. We're at the final 3 months, and it is January year 25. Let's see who's making it to the moon. It's going to be Russia, Canada, the USA, China, Brazil, Australia, Kazakhstan, Angola did just barely make it, and Argentina. So we're gonna start their colonies out randomly. So there's Russia's space colony, here's Canada's space colony. Let's go ahead and watch as there's gonna be a massive race to get as much of this as humanly possible. It's going to take a minute though. Also, this could really deplete this economy, each one of these 8 economies that have made it to this moon. Some nations are certainly going to be at an advantage. Obviously, I did do it in order to, so the Russians were the biggest, so they probably got the best position, at least right here in the middle. If you were Argentina or Kazakhstan, who barely squeaked in, you probably are more pushed towards the corner. It's only fair. It's only fair. Man, there's a lot of blue countries. I don't even know how. Okay, we got the US here, we got Brazil here, we got Australia there. Wait, how did the Brazilians? Oh my goodness. That is because Argentina was just conquered by Brazil. I was like, I'm pretty sure Argentina made, oh, so that is going to, so everything that happens on Earth is going to directly affect the planets. Brazil just annexed, they conquered Argentina, so that means that they also took the space colonies too. too. So Brazil is actually going to, I think, win the race for the colonization of the moon because of what happened on Earth. That is so funny because Brazil is looking like a space powerhouse already. We'll see if Bolivia can do anything about that though. We got a lot of green nations. Wait, what the heck? Oh, we got Canada and Angola. That's right. So Angola did squeeze into the moon. Now for Mars, we're going to be looking at a different category. We're not always going to be going into area. For Mars, I'm going to actually look at gold. And then another category for Venus because technically, you know, Mars and Venus distance-wise, not that far away. Some countries might choose to go to Venus. Some countries might choose to go to Mars, even though Mars is probably the easier planet to colonize. I cannot believe what happened to India. India should be on the moon right now. Let's see if they can make a comeback though. Anything can happen, especially Brazil showed that literally anything can happen. Honestly, Brazil can be taken over by Bolivia and Bolivia could take up their space colonies like that in a second. It's hard to predict even like what could be going, especially because we've only done one planet out of the 7 that we've been given. It's going to be insane. So China did annex Laos. Thailand's looking very strong, which I'm in Thailand right now. Does the game know that? Are they doing that on purpose? That is why the background's so different. Oh my goodness, Germany. Okay, Germany's looking like they were split up, West Germany and East Germany, except West Germany is South Switzerland, and then the north of Western Germany is the Netherlands. UK trying to do 100 years war against France, possibly. They also took out Ireland. We've got 5 years left before we put more people out in space. Now, economically is going to be very different than the land area, obviously. So something to keep in mind. You kind of don't want, because I mean, technically, if you've got a lot of money and you're not wasting it on war, you're definitely going to have more resources to go into space. That's for sure. Look at, we got a really big Montenegro. How did Montenegro get that big? What the hell's going on? And we also have a very big Myanmar as they have completely bashed through Thailand. All right, year 50. Let's see. So not too different for the players that made it to the moon. Russia will be making it to Mars, so will Brazil, Canada, the US. Then France will get a space colony finally. China, Australia gets another one. Angola, I think South Africa's made it. Not a whole lot of water to work with on Mars. Mars has weird, like all their landmass, if they had like huge oceans like this, is towards the southern hemisphere, their southern pole. I just realized, unfortunately for South Africa, they were one spot below to make it to the top 8. They didn't quite make it. I'm surprised. Is South Africa really that big? They don't. Oh, it's not because, oh, we're not using area. That's right. We're using money. So they've been pretty peaceful. That's what's helped them. But they didn't make the cut. That's what I'm trying to say. My bad. All right, let's watch as these. Oh, there's a whole space war happening in the moon. This is Kazakhstan kicking out the US. Will they actually do it though? So that is going to be a thing. You can actually kick another power off of one of the rocks. Meanwhile, we've got a new race for Mars currently going on. Again, Russia was #1 in that previous category, so they got smacked right in the middle. But look at Canada go. Ooh, Brazil does not look like they have the resources to be able. They're not expanding very fast at all in Mars. Maybe they're really trying to focus more on the moon, possibly. Are they trying to be like like Brazil obviously connected with Portugal. Portugal put most of their colonial resources into just Brazil. Brazil's trying to now do that, reflect what their father did just on the planets. Their new Brazil. Brazil is moon. And this is like Angola, because Angola was like a Portuguese colony. Angola's here too, by the way. Kind of funny. Wait, where's Angola at? Did Angola already get kicked out? Oh no, Angola's in the north. Okay, I see. So we're already only 15 years old. Ooh, look at Kazakhstan and Russia get into it. Both space colonial powers. Did Myanmar not make it? So we'll eventually go back to the area for the remaining rocks. I just want to call them rocks because they're planets and moons. But they were 15 years away, but we're going to be doing now income. Not gold, not area. It's going to be the income category. So maybe technically, probably, I mean, income is directly related to land area. So this is kind of like choosing area. Brazil has not expanded much more beyond. Oh, they did take out Uruguay, but yeah, taking out Argentina was their big gain. And I believe how massive this Myanmar is. This is actually incredibly. I've never seen Myanmar AI do this good. It's actually terrifying. Look at Afghanistan take out Pakistan too. And Montenegro still very giant. Spain trying to push in through the Mediterranean to attack the Italians. Is that Montenegro again moving into Western Germany? We got 5 years left. No, not a whole lot of wars going on in North America at all. There looks to be only a couple of major players here on the moon and Mars. See, if I'm a planet, if I'm like a country down below and I haven't made it to space yet, this kind of makes sense. Like I wouldn't want to go to the moon or Mars. Like those are already eaten up. It's like in the imperialization of Africa. Like, you know, it's all those area was already taken out. You're going to want to go somewhere else. At least if you're the Germans of the World War. Oh my goodness, Spain, did you just take over Italy like that? I think they did. Clearly they did. Belarus now fighting Russia. They got close to Moscow, but no beans. All right, here we go. January 75. No beans? What the hell does that mean? All right, January year 75. Let's see. Oh, so Myanmar did make it. Oh my gosh, now we're gonna have Montenegro on the planet of Venus. All right, so Russia is not even making it to Venus. That's so funny considering they loved Venus as the USSR. The US is gonna be here. Watch Canada. Canada's made it to all the rocks, and I believe so has Andorra, impressively. So the race for Venus has begun. Now Mercury's a little bit further. It's the final rocky planet, so it's gonna be a little bit more interesting. We're gonna see some weird players there, I think. We've got a little moon war happening between the Chinese and Russia. That is obviously because there is, well, now the war ended. Oh, whoa. Look at this alliance right here. China, Myanmar, Bangladesh. They're at war with Australia. Russia annexed Mongolia. Russia's looking... Oh, look, Kazakhstan actually took a lot of land away from Russia. Now, year 100 is when we see who has made it to Mercury. I think humans should start making it to Mercury in like the year 21, 25. Actually, nah, there's no way. There's no way. What am I talking about? I'm smoking something. Ethiopia's got a very nice monopoly over the Horn of Africa. How is Spain... Oh, again, we're not using... I keep forgetting that we're using not just area, but income and area closely related. Using gold was kind of like a nice gimme, like it gave some nations, because gold is really random in the game. I don't think that's going to help. I mean, it gives them a benefit, obviously, being able to extract resources out of the planets. Man, it is still really divided, especially on the moon. We still got a ways to go. I wish I could break down like who has the most area on just the moon or just Mars or just Venus. Look at Montenegro go. Montenegro can really sink a lot of their resources into Venus because this is the only planet they're on. I feel like maybe some of these countries that normally would have just started steamrolling are slowed down a little bit, like Brazil, for instance, because they're focused on their moon wars. Sounds like such a funny thing. Moon wars, yes. I don't know what else to call it. Oh my goodness, Russia has grabbed back East Germany. They are back in Berlin, baby. Russia's gonna be a very big threat. Russia doesn't have very many friends, though. Turkey and Egypt and Syria. It is January, year 100. Let's see who's gonna make it to the final inner 4 planets. So to do this, we're actually going to just take the 2 alliances, the top 2 alliances. So whoever's in this alliance gets 1 space colony. So we have Russia, Turkey, and Egypt, and Syria, I guess. Russia, Turkey, Egypt. Am I missing one? Oh my God, Israel's in there too. That is a lot. Operation Ankara. This is such a massive team I'm having to put down. Oh, and they have Palestine? Palestine's in this alliance too? What the hell? All right, so Palestine, you're getting a space colony. Mercury might accidentally be the most peaceful planet because it's like there's like 5 people already on alliance. Now, the alliances change around a lot, so maybe in the beginning it's peaceful, but not. It probably won't stay that way. Now, as for the second alliance, it's actually, I think, just 2 members. It is Canada and Cuba. They are the other ones that will be joining the Operation Ankara. That is actually kind of hilarious. Wouldn't have expected the Cubans to be on Canada's side versus Russia. I'm fascinated to see, wow, the Canadians are not holding back. They know because it's just the Canadians and the Cubans. That's it. So they know that they are the outlier here. They're going to have to fight all these. They're going to fight this team that has so many more members over here. They got 6 members. There's Turkey, there's Russia, there's Syria, there's Israel, Palestine, and Egypt versus just the 2 sea nations of North America, Cuba and Canada. Now, maybe if they're lucky, this alliance will break down, but I don't know if enough time will pass before they break. They're gonna have to. I don't think it's gonna happen. Man, this is a mess. I don't even know what's going on the moon, Mars, and Venus. It is still anyone's game. We have the final 3 rocks, and they're actually in the moon nearby the gas giants. There's gonna be significantly less countries that make it to these places. I've got to do it. Funny enough, I thought we'd see less countries make it to Mercury because I was only doing the top 2 alliances in terms of size, which again is a thing that changes drastically. You can get lucky and then squeeze yourself into a space station, but it turns out that the first alliance is so massive. I did not think they'd have that many members. It's kind of ridiculous. Oh my gosh, here they are. They're fighting. They have to fight a war against this team. It is Cuba. Oh, Cuba is not fighting a war. Canada's fighting. Oh, you might just... Cuba, what are you doing, bro? You gonna let your one teammate get destroyed in Mercury? Mercury is a funny place. Doesn't it take like 500... It takes like a whole year for... Mercury doesn't even rotate, does it? I don't even think it rotates. So they're just fighting on either the light side or the dark side of this planet. Oh, there's wars happening in all the solar system because Russia's involved in this. Canada is... They survived. They're still here. They fought against it. Wow, that's so crazy. That team is destroying it over here. Yeah, you don't see that sort of dominance on anything else. It's just because we use the alliance category. Brazil's now trying to take out Chile. Oh man, look at how massive Iran is, especially with their puppet of Afghanistan. Oh, we got a big France too because they took out Spain. Okay, it's year 25. Here we go. We're actually only going to take the first 4 in terms of land area because we're going back to land area. There would be significantly less countries that make it out over here because it's much further away. Brazil's going to get a better position than the Americans because they are bigger. Let's watch as this begins to take place between the Russians, Brazilians, and Canadians. Now, the Canadians have their hands full. The Canadians, I think, are on every single rock, impressively enough. Angola was on every single rock. Not anymore. Yeah, look at the Canadians go. The Canadians are the Canadians, and then I think the Russians are on every single one. Japan. Yeah, that's it so far. The Brazilians didn't make it to Mercury, and neither did the U.S. That's what, oh my gosh, the Americans actually might get kicked off the moon very, very soon. That's crazy considering, you know, we made it there first and all. What the heck's going on? There is not very many nations we're going to be able to put on these final 2 moons. We're just going to have to try our best. I cannot believe how big Iran, they're looking like the Persian Empire again. China's also very strong. They've got some friends too. Vietnam, Bangladesh. Is this North Korea that took over the Korean Peninsula? Yes, it is. A lot of puppeting happening, which is allowing nations to get really, oh, Montenegro is now kind of small again in Europe, but they still have a very big colony on Venus. That's kind of cool. They're probably just focused on space at this point because they kind of got smashed in this continent. So many players on the moon and Mars. There's really not one nation that's able to dominate up here, which means they're not going to be too solidified back in Europe. Or back in, sorry, the world, Earth, my bad, Europa. China going in after Russia, which means there was definitely space wars going on. And the war to kick out the Russians. Oh, well, never mind. I thought it was already, they might have kicked them out. They were getting close. There's no cities up here yet, I'm noticing. They look at Palestine. Palestine's dominating Mercury. That's kind of funny. They look like the big one. This map's already looking really beautiful. All these different colors down here and the different moons and planets. It's so cool. Angola's looking very nice. I'm sure that resources from the moon and Mars and Venus is really helping them out. Okay, it's year 50. And we're doing the top 4 in terms of incomes with the Russians, the French, the Brazilians, and the Chinese. Oh, Angola barely didn't make it. Neither did the U.S. France will be a big one, though. There's kind of a little continent for each one to settle on. China's, of course, going to have to get the small one because they barely made it. Now, none of these are teammates. There's no alliances happening. China and Russia are no longer friends. Brazil's no longer friends. France. So there is going to be a pretty big battle royale between just these 4. The heck? Did Brazil turn purple? Oh, we're using the alliance map. Oh, my bad. I was getting real confused there for a second. So we just have the final and maybe the golden prize of them all, Titan. Everyone loves to talk about Titan, this moon. There could be like a lot of water, basically, but I guess they're getting water from all the planets and rocks and moons and things like that. Dang, France really looking like they're trying to conglomerate Europe before Russia takes even more stuff. How is Lithuania still around? Look at these weird borders, too. Angola trying to be the dominant power over South Africa, kicking out one of the stronger African power, although Nigeria is looking pretty good. US and Canada clearly got into a war. Canada's still their only friends. Oh, they do have some more friends now, finally. Oh, no, Canada just annexed Indonesia, or part of it. They're still cool with Cuba, though. Technically, you don't need to have, you can win. You don't need to have a space colony. I think that's obvious. Anyone can still, it's going to help if you have a space colony, though, that's for sure. China, Japan just united, which means Japan has now entered. They now have their own space colonies instantly overnight. That's going to probably happen to several nations as we begin to unite here. There's also 81 nations left in the world. All right, it is the year what year is it? It's technically the year 2300, 175 years from 2025. Is that right? 2300. That's a perfect something like. Anyways, math. Yeah. We're only taking the top 2 nations, so we are taking just Russia and China, Japan in the gold category. We're going to do Russia on one end and China/Japan on the other. It is time for Anime Titan. Wait, what? Titan? Oh my god. It's literally like it was meant to be. What are they going to do here? Attack? So stupid. The 4-way battle here is still going on. Did Russia make it to every... No, Russia, the only place Russia didn't make it is Venus, which is really funny. That is the one place I thought they would. China is looking awfully big. That's nice of China to give Japan... It's a weird union because they don't really like each other at all. Poor Philippines didn't make it. Oh boy. Okay, so this war is probably happening because of the battle that's happening on Titan. Yeah, it's just as intense over here on this moon as it is back on Earth. It seems to be pretty close. China and Japan needs to like ally to France or something like that over here in the West to fight like a dual front for, I mean, they're going to be closer to get to Moscow. There's 68 nations left. Kind of stalled out a little bit. I'm not sure if they're getting... If it's a little too complicated. Oh, look at these alliances, though. They have a complete monopoly over South America, basically. Oh, we got a big Nepal. Oh, China, Japan starting to really pull away in front. Oh, Kazakhstan, though. Does Kazakhstan still have their... Yes, they do. Kazakhstan still has their moon colony. They're also cool. Okay, so that Russian alliance broke down quite heavily. Is Israel, Palestine? Israel, Palestine are still here. So when you have a space colony, it kind of cements you a bit more. Palestine is actually they've invested way further into Mercury. Oh, look at Turkey was the only member... Oh, Turkey got literally kicked off of Mercury. That's kind of funny. Kind of sad, kind of funny. Turkey's still here. Turkey, yeah. Some massive... This is a literally... What are they called after World War? It's Solar System War? Solar War. I don't know. And now the U.S. versus China. Now, if these two were to unite or annex either one, like that's going to be a huge space colonial empire that forms overnight. Whether the US beats Canada or vice versa and they annex all their territories around the solar system, it's going to be crazy. Let's go Angola. They still haven't kicked out South Africa yet. They do still have their colonies on the moon, Mars, and Venus. There's 54 countries left. Look at Iran. Oh my gosh. They are 1 pixel away from taking Moscow. And now it is the China, Japanese, Bangladesh. Bangladesh has now made it to space. Poland cannot, but Bangladesh can. What is going on? And Russia's economy is breaking down. Not sure what's going on, but they had to move their capital to St. Petersburg. China, Japan, Bangladesh looks like the dominant global power in terms of area. Oh my gosh, the US is struggling. Look at Mexico go. Mexico, you're a little bit late though. You probably should have... Oh, did Mexico just... I thought someone puppeted the US for a second there. It looks like they are. Are they not puppeted? Oh, they are. Oh, it's by the Russians. I see. The Russians puppeted the US. Okay. Which means the Russians are going to get a ton of new space colonies if they successfully annex everything. Does Montenegro still exist in like the moon or something? Kazakhstan's still out here in the moon. Oh, but Kazakhstan's big back on Earth. Love seeing the nations that aren't doing good on Earth continue to do good on their planet or moon, like Palestine, for instance. Palestine, I don't think exists on... Oh, they barely do. They're just pixels, though. Yeah, the alliance system is working very differently here because they have like all these new moons and planets to take care of. I think that this team on Mercury, for instance, is lasting a lot longer because of Mercury. They probably would have broken down a long time ago back in Earth, though. Oh, look at France go. France reestablishing their empire. Oh, Russia has annexed Australia, and Mexico is basically the new USA. They didn't get any colonies, though. Space colonies don't even matter, though. You don't need space colonies. Just take over everything on Earth. Venezuela, Peru, and Costa Rica. That's quite the team. And I think Russia's gone. I think Russia is gone. France is now Russia. And Kazakhstan's trying... Oh, China, Japan, Bangladesh, and Myanmar are struggling. This is the final 30 countries. Oh, so now the only 2 nations on Titan is China, essentially China, and France. We also have more territory here on this moon. France has taken over Russia, so now it's just 3 major players here. There's only basically 2. It's Brazil and Canada. On this one, Mercury is being dominated by Canada. Venus is still very much in the air. So is Mars, and so is the moon. Although there's maybe only... Wait, oh, Kazakhstan's doing great on the moon. It'd be really funny to see certain countries only dominate certain planets or moons, but they're nowhere else, essentially. Like, this is a regional power. Like, Kazakhstan's good. I don't think Kazakhstan's gonna win here, but you never know. But they could win because of all their territory on the moon. There's 28 nations left. Sudan jumping to South Asia. Look at that. Let's go ahead and check on the area. It's France, China, basically China, Canada, Brazil, Mexico's in 5th. Oh, Angola's still going. And Angola still has colonies on 3 planets, 3 spheres. What do I call these? 3 like Earth objects. That's kind of a mouthful, though. Oh, there's a massive war between... China, France, and UK combined. Wait, do you combine with Egypt too? I think they did. Finally, Angola's taking up their rightful place. Oh, did they get puppeted for a second there? I think they did. A lot of weird, funky things happening with this AI. We got Mexico winning in North America. We got Brazil kind of splitting the continent with Venezuela, Peru, and Costa Rica. France, the UK, and Egypt doing so good. Kazakhstan's still a major player. Iran is no longer the Persian Empire, but they were for a second there. China, Japan, Bangladesh, Myanmar. I don't think they can form any more unions there. I didn't even know the Americans were still around. They're also still around on the moon, just barely. On Mars, on Venus, on Mercury. Oh, we finally have a dominant power. That's so cool. It is the Brazilians. They've completely taken over this rock. It is just their rock. So even if they get kicked out of South America, they can be all right. They're now completely safe. Who's even going to win this? Because you can't get there. I guess they can get puppeted. That's the only way. I think that's what's going to happen. Brazil's going to get puppeted and slowly get annexed. You get kind of a bigger Philippines going on here. Oh, Canada's made it over to China. Oh my goodness. Look at this team. Mexico, Peru, and Brazil. It's actually Venezuela that's leading this, but man, that is quite the American alliance. Only American... Oh, is Canada's gone? I almost didn't even realize Canada got annexed. Canada was on several of the planets too. Wait, Canada is still here. They were in China briefly, and they are still very much on Mercury, Mars, and kind of the moon. Mercury is now mostly dominated by just the French, so Palestine's no longer here. Israel's no longer here. Some of these planets are completely different because so many other countries have been completely annexed and taken over by others. I don't even know what's going on. Slowly, of course, China, Japan are winning the war on Titan. There's 16 different countries, but there's essentially only 3 or 4 major great powers. I mean, there's a great team or slash alliance between Mexico, Venezuela, and Brazil. Angola's kind of a power. Kazakhstan's now gone. China is certainly a power with Japan. Man, look at these huge solar system wars that are taking place almost in all the planets. Oh, France, UK just Oh, that's got to be it. They're going for Angola. I think the UK is going to squeeze into victory. So is Egypt. Well, it's a de facto win. Oh my goodness, they have literally everything on the entire solar system. They have left some people around. I'm sure they'll eventually kill these guys. Or maybe not. That's cool if you give like a bunch of... Technically, Venezuela, Peru, Costa Rica can get a win. Greenland somehow gets a win, which is crazy. You should definitely go check out makeship.com if you want to help support their space empire. Yeah, they just like straight up annexed that team in Latin America. Oh yeah, there goes Greenland. So France, the UK, and Egypt, and Cuba. Oh, Cuba, mate. Dang it. That's crazy. I didn't even mention... I wish I would have mentioned that before. Cuba, a nation that squeezed into... What was that? Mercury? I can't remember where I put him on now at this point. I can't remember anything. Ended up helping kind of getting a dub here. That's impressive. Anyways, Panama, Greenland, and Canada, all plushies. They will be here for only limited time, so check out that first link in the description down below to makeship.com. I'll see you. Big old thanks to my patrons over at Patreon. Go out here calling bro a history expert. Tambrin, Drew's Argentinian Trust Fund, Nord Tyrol, Nolan, Miglu the Goat, Luxembourg Lover, Carino is best girl, King Bear Hayes, Frederick Tiblin, Douche Baggins, Connor Pavlik, Carmel S, Alexander the If you'd like your name here, check out that link in the description down below to patreon.com.